Welcome to Marketing with Confidence. I'm your host, Marianne Amies. We're going to be talking all things digital and online marketing for business owners and marketing professionals. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by your digital marketing, be sure to listen along and you'll hear tips, interviews and more that will give you the confidence to create marketing you love. Welcome to another interview. Today, I'm talking with Mel Daniels, content coach and strategist from Mel Business and founder of The Content Effect. Mel's going to share with us her journey through digital marketing while running her business and evolving it over time and how she has found her digital confidence. Welcome, Mel. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you, Marianne. It is such an honor to be here.
Fantastic. Well, look, as you know, this podcast is all about marketing with confidence, and I wanted to get you on here today to, share your story, talk about your journey in business and your journey through digital marketing as well. So to kick off, do you want to tell us all a bit about you and your business?
I would love to, Marianne. So my name is Mel Daniels. I am a content coach and strategist, and I empower women to grow a profitable business with powerful content that connects, nurtures, and converts their ideal client. I do that through two different ways. So I work one-on-one with clients, VIP clients. I help them build out their email sequences and lead magnets and strategy as well. And then the second way is through my beautiful membership.
Oh, fantastic. And so how long have you been running your business?
So I have been in business for about 6 years, but the business I have today looks very, very different to the business that was started 6 years ago. Wow. So 6 years ago, I decided that it was time for me to do something for myself. So I had been a full-time mum. So just to go back a couple of steps, I had a corporate career in the banking and finance industry, and then through some amazing things that happened in our life, and the universe threw us a few curveballs. We ended up moving to London and had our second child there. So we moved there with a 6-month-old, had our second child there, and I became a full-time mum when I was there. Unfortunately, I had to resign from my job, which was really disappointing because I loved what I did so much in that corporate space. But it was time for a new challenge, a new chapter, and I embraced being a full-time mum. And so I did that for another 10 years. And then I got to a space where it was time to do something for myself again. I knew that I didn't want to go back to the corporate world, not because I didn't love it, because I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the people that I worked with. I loved the culture. I loved the opportunities, all of those things. Yeah. But I knew that my life had just taken a different direction, and going back to that corporate role wasn't going to fit in with how I envisaged our life to look like. So I decided to start a business. I had no idea what to do. Like I was really into cake decorating. So I thought maybe that's what I want to do. But I quickly saw that the kind of like the legal regulations that I had to jump through to be able to do that from home was quite difficult in the area that I live. So I landed on being a virtual assistant. So 6 years ago, I started my business as a virtual assistant. And like most people, Marianne, tried to be all things to all people. And we'll probably talk about that today, about, niching and finding your ideal clients. But it took me a long time to get into the groove of things. So that's where I started 6 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it? And I guess it is that unique experience of women that we spend a lot of time, if you're that way inclined, building a career and sort of being passionate, and then we have children, and often that's the turning point that changes everything. Obviously, naturally, it can change your priorities, but also it's the juggle and sort of learning how you're going to embrace that or adapt to that. And we often either, change our careers or change our priorities or take a break. And it's that funny thing, I think, when you're fresh out of school and you're studying or you go into the workforce, you don't really foresee that you're in one window, and then at some point, you may have children. and then you may face a whole different landscape. It's fascinating. And I know for myself, my journey, as I've shared before, is about that as well, as having children, and then really reevaluating how, can I travel at the drop of a hat anymore? No, I can't. Do I want to travel 3 hours a day to my job? No, I don't. All those things. And you touched on loving corporate, and yeah, like I think for myself, that was massive for me too. I loved my teams. I loved all the people I worked with, and that community, and they're just fun, the fun we used to have. And I think I resisted the thought that I was starting a business for so long. I kept saying, when I go back, I'm doing this now, but when I go back, because I miss the people more than anything. I miss the people. So no, I can completely relate. And so how did you feel about digital marketing when you started out?
Well, funnily enough, back in the dark ages, so probably, I would hate to say this, but maybe 25 years ago, I actually did a degree in marketing. So obviously back then, though, marketing was a very different beast to what it was 6 years ago, to even what it is today, right? Like there's been so many changes, especially driven by technology and various social media apps. So I think that when I first started out in business, it was my belief that I could build a website and the clients would come.
Yeah.
I could just put my name on a website and that would be it, and I would be raking in the money. But obviously, we all know that that's not the way.
Unfortunately, why can't it be?
I know that's not the way it works. So I think that it was a bit of a shock to the system, to be honest. Even though I had that background in marketing, even though I had a background in communications in terms of my corporate career, I think that it was still a real shock to the system that you would have to actually put yourself out there. You have to put yourself in front of people and really showcase exactly who you are. So I think that for me, when I first started, that this really was a shock to the system.
Yeah.
I think, though, that it's been a blessing for me. So as I kind of just described, that I've moved from being a virtual assistant into being this content strategist, and part of that process has been seeing how digital marketing works and content marketing works, and seeing the impact that it has on people, and seeing, what they are doing and what they aren't doing, and putting those pieces together for them. So I think that whilst for myself, it was a real, I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, I quickly found my feet, but not only that, realized how many other people were feeling the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, I mean, drawing on your own learnings and then being able to identify it for other people gives them the quick start. It helps them to, save all the years that you spent obviously testing and observing and learning. And always, I guess it's so much easier to help others and help ourselves as well. It's really easy to see where someone else can improve and draw on those things. I always say, if only I could be my own client, I feel like I do a really good job for me.
100%. It's like being the chef who doesn't like cooking at home, or the carpenter who's taking years to do a renovation. But it's definitely something that I've grown to love over time, I would say.
Yeah, beautiful. And I guess, what's been your biggest challenge in all this time?
So I would say that there's been two major ones, and I know that a lot of listeners will probably resonate with a couple of with these two things. The first is around confidence and visibility. So we all know that we need to put ourselves out there in order for our ideal client to first see us, understand who we are, connect with us, before we can then go on to nurture and convert them, right? So, but doing that, having the confidence and the courage to actually put yourself out there, it just takes a lot of work. And I've actually done a lot of work around this myself over the past 12 months, and feel like, I'm gradually stepping into that. But still, every day it is a challenge. It is, all of those inner mean girl thoughts that goes around in our head. It's just so rude.
I know. And I think because we're not the selfie generate, we weren't born with an iPhone in our hand. We're not used to studying our own reflections day and night. I mean, I don't even look in the mirror dead on. And, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I kind of approach it from a bit of a side angle. To now, I think I find that the most confronting. I almost feel I'd be better if I could do stories and videos, but not see myself at the same time. I need like a personal assistant that comes around and just films me. And then I never want to see it again. I struggle in this area, and I love to tell my clients, you've got to show up on video, you've got to put your face out there. But I find it just as overwhelming and challenging. I don't relish it at all. I have no problem speaking in a room to real people. Again, I think it's something about that reflection back on yourself. It's confronting. It's so confronting.
It can be. It can be really confronting. And I think that the work that I've done probably over the 12 months is that I've sought help in terms of coaching.
Yeah.
Not only coaching specifically for my business, but also for my confidence as well, specifically. And then just finding those tools that work for you as well. So for me, it is so much about visualization. And that is my go-to tool. So whenever I'm feeling like a little bit disconnected, or like, I really don't want to show up and do this live, I really don't want to do this, I really can't do this right now, a visualization really helps me to connect into that feeling of what the outcome is that I want to have.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So like, I know I'm very clear in terms of the feeling that I want my business to feel like. And I know that to get there, I need to be really connected to that. And then that then feeds backwards into, having the confidence and actually following through on what I wanted to do. So I would used to see that I would go through launches, and I mean, launching is such an intense digital marketing experience, content marketing experience as well. Like, there's just so many moving pieces, and you do have to be confident and show up and be visible and be in people's faces all the time. But I would get to a point where I'd be like, what's the point? No one's listening. No one's watching, I don't want to do this. Like, why am I doing this? But adding in that visualization part of things has really helped me to see things through to the end. No matter how I perceive them to be going, it just adds that extra, like, yes, Mel, you can do this.
That's amazing. That's such good advice, because I think you're right. It is keeping your eye on the bigger picture, but also I love the point you made about how you want your business to feel, and, really making sure that you're preparing yourself to deliver on that as well.
Yes, definitely. So I talk a lot about a picture I have got on the middle of my vision board this year, and it is a photo that I took in Queenstown a couple of years ago. Obviously pre-COVID travel times. So this particular photo is taken from the Airbnb that we were staying at, and it was a beautiful Airbnb. It was very luxurious, and it was new, and it was exciting, but it looked out over the lake and across to the mountains. Wow. So in that moment when I took that photo, I felt so at peace, so connected to both nature and the world in general. I felt life was easy and abundant, all of those beautiful words that we always hear. Yeah. So it's that photo then that anchors those feelings for me and really draws me back into the reason why I do need to be confident and visible and show up.
That's beautiful. That's so lovely.
Yeah, thank you. So that's the first thing I would say. The first challenge is the confidence and the visibility. And the second thing is really around I would say the challenge around thought leadership and messaging. Okay. Yeah. So I kind of think that they go hand in hand when it comes to marketing. And it's something that I really struggled with for years on a couple of different levels, I would say. The first being is, who am I to even have thought leadership? I mean, come on, like, who am I to say that, I have these ideas and these ideas are amazing and you should be following me and doing the things because, I'm an expert. That has been really difficult to kind of step into that, like putting together the ideas around what it actually is that I care about and that I want to talk about and that I want to share with everyone. Yeah. And so kind of stemming from that is your message. I feel like that they go very much hand in hand. So for me, my message has always been a struggle because I've always been searching for the formula, that magic formula. So what's that magic sentence where you can insert the words and all of a sudden you've got this amazing message you can put on your website and forget about it. So for me, then it's really been about stepping into who I am, what I believe, and having the conviction around that as well. So it's really hard to do that, but I'm finding that I can do it better more often because I talk about it more. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. I think that they kind of write it down and think about it and go, oh, yes, tick, I've done my message. But do they actually talk about it? So I think that those things together, the confidence and the visibility together with the thought leadership and the messaging have probably been my biggest challenges by far.
Yeah, but great spaces of personal growth, and I think as we both know, the hard things are the best things to move through, and they're uncomfortable as you try to expand in those areas, but every small step forward is so rewarding, and the feedback that you get from people is generally more positive than you anticipate, and I think that helps to propel you down that path. And I know that you are such a inspiration to your community and a leader in your community, and then there's that feedback where you've helped someone and you've helped someone to expand or grow or achieve, that makes it all worth it, make that stretching all worth it.
It most certainly does, doesn't it? Like, I was definitely born to serve, and the fact that I can show up and make a difference in people's lives kind of blows my mind a little bit, quite frankly, that we have the amazing technology at our fingertips these days, the amazing platforms to be able to connect and reach such a wide range of different people as well. But to be able to do that, like you said, is a very, very special thing, and something that I don't take for granted, that I do have this beautiful, aligned community who really do, once again, reflect my own values and beliefs. And when we're kind of true to that and really sit in that, I think then that's when we see this amazing, beautiful business and personal growth.
Yeah, absolutely. You may have already touched on it, but what do you see as your biggest learning then?
Yeah, I think that it has definitely been being true to myself and understanding that. Like, I think that for a long time, I knew that I wanted to articulate my purpose in life. I wanted to reach this massive goal, wanted to have this big understanding, this big bang moment. And I did attend a retreat in 2019 where I really did some work on my values and then how this leads into my mission and my purpose.
Yeah.
And I think understanding that and being able to have a very good general idea of why I am here and what I'm meant to do and what I love doing and what I want to do has really fed back into my marketing. So in that respect, like, once you're very, very clear on exactly what your values are, and I don't just mean like, oh yeah, my values are these. I mean like understanding what that actually means, like not just the value itself, but understanding how that manifests in your life and how you want it to manifest in your life as well. I think that it just becomes so much easier to make decisions, doesn't it, around your content and your marketing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like if something doesn't align, I can tell you my top 3 values are family, community, and connection. So I know that if my content or something in my business isn't aligned with those 3 values, then it's a definite no for me. Like, I can be very, very clear in terms of how I want to show up and what that actually looks like. So I think that that's probably been a huge, huge learning for me, that everything really flows. Everything, business, your content, everything is so much easier when you understand what your values and beliefs are and how that relates to that bigger vision or bigger purpose as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's when you feel most satisfied, and I think it kind of goes back to the challenges as well around visibility and thought leadership. And when you're trying to be what you think you need to be versus what you actually, what you want to be, and what aligns with you. I think sometimes we think we have to be a certain way to attract people, or to, but the truth is, and you see it, there's a tribe for everyone.
There is, yeah.
The more you show your true nature and align, and don't compromise on your values, the people that resonate, they come to you,
Yeah.
and they align with you. And it's so much nicer to do that from an authentic place than to be doing it from something inauthentic that you have to keep it up, and that fear of, what if they find out I'm not, this, or I'm not that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, and just going on from that, like if you are trying to be someone else, or being someone who you think you need to be, and you do attract people based on that into your world, how is that going to impact them in the long run? So they think that you're this person because that's how you're showing up. That's what you're putting out into the world. And they're like, yeah, okay, I really like Marianne. I'm coming along this ride with her. And then so they connect with you, and based on this. But then when they go to eventually purchase from you, what's going to happen? There's going to be this massive mismatch, because you can't always show up as this other person.
No.
When you're just being yourself, and all the quirks that go with that, all the ups, the downs that go with that, then that is what people are attracted to, and that's what they will be grateful for when they eventually purchase from you as well.
Oh, totally. And I think because they're also looking, it's like when you fall in love, you're looking to recognize yourself within someone else, partly. And it's sort of that too, you're looking to find yourself within that other person, to connect. And if you then find out it was all a big show, that it was all a hook to get you across the line, it's like awful. I can think of nothing worse than trying to convert people to something that I don't offer, because I thought it seemed lucrative, or I thought it seemed what I should be. It doesn't serve either of you. So
no, not at all. And if you look at it from even like a social perspective, so if you make friends with someone, you're doing that on a genuine basis. If you're not doing that on a genuine basis, pretending to be someone else, or pretending to have things that you don't have, then it's only going to end in tears.
It's going to run out at some point.
Exactly.
No, that's true. And I think you're right. Like learning what's important to you, and then really stepping into that and being yourself. I think it increases your confidence because it's authentic, and obviously it increases that real connection, which is beautiful. So I guess, you've had a long journey through business ownership, and obviously, being in business for 6 years, you will have seen that digital marketing landscape change and change and change again. So how do you feel about it now? How do you feel about your digital marketing now?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to say, obviously, I love it. I love it because I get to teach a part of it. I get to teach the content marketing part of it to an amazing audience. But I think that I always approach it as a learning process, because like you said, it just changes so quickly and so much that there is always opportunities for us to do something differently, or to, perhaps try something different as well. There is just so many different platforms that we can use and different mediums we can use, that I really love looking at it from a testing and trial perspective. So like, whilst I'm all about the strategy and, making sure that you have a strategy in place, to me, that framework there is just that, a framework to be able to play in different ways as things change.
Yeah. Agree. And one of the things I love that you talk about in your content, and is one of your offers, is helping people to discover their superpower. And I love, again, that playfulness of that. So do you just want to tell us a little bit about your Discover Your Superpower quiz?
Okay, I do. It sounds very funny when you describe it, but yeah, I think that we are all amazing, unique individuals, and we have amazing, unique strengths, and we bring different experiences and knowledge to the table. So we cannot all create content in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many people out there that teach content creation in a certain way, in a certain structure, but that doesn't suit everyone because we are all different. So, yeah, so the quiz is just really about owning that superpower, finding out what that superpower is, and then actually owning it so that you can use it to your advantage and create that powerful content. But also on the flip side, seeing what your kryptonite is. So making sure that you avoid that, or you have tools or strategies in place to minimize them, because sometimes it can be, a little distracting.
Oh, I love that. And I definitely encourage everybody to head over to your socials and grab the link and do it. It's a lot of fun. So look, Mel, to wrap up, obviously I'm all about digital confidence, and I'd love you to share your, one piece of advice to business owners looking to increase their digital confidence.
That's really unfair that I have to give one piece of advice, but I think it'll just go back to exactly what we've been talking about this entire episode, and that is really understanding who you are. And when you understand that we are all in the market of content creation, we are all content creators at heart, and we need to be for our businesses to be successful. But as soon as we really step into exactly who we are and we feel that confidence, everything changes. Everything changes in terms of the ease. Everything changes in terms of, the visibility, and just creating that powerful content will really make a difference to your business 100%.
Beautiful. That's such good advice. And I think finding your groove, and I think we're both about it, and no overwhelm, no stress, keeping it simple and trying to, I guess, enjoy it as well, because, it's, it should bring you a degree of joy. And I think, I know for a lot of my clients, it's the fighting the tech and the fighting the physical skills sometimes more than the what they want to say and those sorts of things. But as much as you can, like everything, just give in and go along for the ride. I think that's when you get the most joy. But it's been so lovely talking to you. I really appreciate your time. You've shared so much wonderful advice, and just really lovely to reflect on your journey with you as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Marianne.
Hey, thanks for listening to another episode. If you don't want to miss one, make sure you subscribe to the show in your podcast app. And if you love it, be sure to share it with friends and colleagues who you think could benefit from increasing their digital marketing confidence. Want more? Head to marianneamies.com to find out how you can work with me directly, to reach out to have me speak at your event, or to grab yourself some free resources.